Hey, and welcome to another Luna Talks. I must admit, full transparency, y'all. I've finally been getting some sleep. Only since last Thursday, so it's only been about a week, roughly. I think the key for me is switching up my workout times because I just never have naturally been an early riser. I always say that if I had a choice, I would opt to stay awake all night into the wee hours of the morning instead of having to go to bed early and get up at the wee hours of the morning. I'd rather take the other choice. Today we have, let's see, some Irene OG strain. It is a 60% sativa, 40% indica hybrid mix. 23% THC level. I kind of was holding off on this for like a couple of weeks. I saw my guy had this, and I know for me personally, anything OG always hits the spot. It always, and I'm sure this is the reason for, besides changing the workout times, the reason for my ability to now be able to sleep. I could go to sleep. Sometimes it's getting to sleep. Because once I'm asleep until the clock goes off. So, but this time it's just been like wide awake, no matter what rituals I've done. So, I got this Irene OG on Friday last week, so it's been roughly a week. And ironically, I've been sleeping and sleeping at full nights. So, um, yeah. So I know, it's different for everyone. Everybody, it's different. It gets you to sleep. I've also been changing the habit of when the alarm clock goes off to instantly jump out of bed and run to the bathroom. I think that's where a lot of that anxious energy kind of sets a certain tone for your day. And I do refuse to live in that space any further. So these days, it's honestly been since the pandemic. These days, clock goes off, I do a snooze, which is 5 minutes. But during that snooze, the majority of the time, I would say 8 out of 10 times, I'm awake by the first alarm. And then I'll take that moment to kind of like start stretching while I'm laying there in bed. Just kind of taking a moment, bring myself to full awareness, slowly stretch my arms over my head, bring the knees to the chest, twist from side to side, and then slowly get up out of bed. And then usually by that point, that's when my body is like, okay, gotta go to the bathroom. My body's like starting to really wake up at that point. But yeah, don't do that to yourselves. Don't put yourselves through that. Like just to let your alarm clock scare the bejesus out of you. To the point that you're just like you jump up and you run and everything is just run, run, rush, 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 run, run, run. And no, I'm not doing that. Not doing that, and you shouldn't either. And speaking on things that we are not going to do any longer, we're not going to allow people around you, and when I say around you, people that are able to touch you, email, phone call, text, see you in person, people that are able to touch you and they have proven time and time again that they're just not good to be around. And when I say not good, because we all have our thing. No one's perfect, okay? But when I say not good, not conducive, I'm referring to examples like, I don't know. Say you've never been overseas before, and considering with everything going on, why not go overseas? Why not? Because in my mind, that's taking a chance, and isn't that what life is about? Stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit and taking some degree of chances and risks. So I would do things like, I've never been overseas before. I should start looking up some vacations, some trips, some ideas. What do you think? And immediately the response would be, well, that's stupid. Why would you want to go overseas? Why would you want to do this? What why? And I'm like, and things like that, attitudes like that, for me personally, is a trigger within itself. I was telling a friend the other day, I had that experience of having someone who I thought was a friend in my vicinity, like call each other, hang out on the weekends. We helped each other get a little part time after school jobs, things like that. And it was around Valentine's Day in high school. And, you know, it's like everybody's showing off. You know what I mean? Like everybody's just like, the guys are like showing off, the girls are like waiting for the guys to make a move. And me and my corny ass, I'm sitting back watching all this dance, thinking to myself, like, is this what it takes? Like, is that what it's considered to be interested in someone? Or, but anyway, so some of my friends received flowers or were taken out to dinner by, the guy that they liked or that they were already seeing. And this one friend received flowers. Me and a couple of the other, girlfriends of mine, we didn't get anything. I mean, there was nobody was checking for us. I mean, we knew that we weren't expecting anything. You know, so and we were the kind, like, nobody was making comments about that. Nobody was hating, like, just whatever. Valentine's Day is coming up, whatever. Then you know. So the one friend received flowers, the one then friend, and instead of being like, oh wow, this is so awesome, I got flowers. See, you guys, look. Oh, the flowers are pretty. No, instead of being like that, she immediately dangles the flowers in all of our faces, like swaying the bouquet back and forth. And she's like, do you see this? This is what people like me get. I get stuff like this because you know why? Because I'm pretty and I'm what, society deems is beautiful, and I fit in. And I'll never forget, me and one other friend looked at each other like, is this bitch crazy? And I was like, well, that's nice that you got flowers. Like, because I'm not going to hate. I'm not going to hate on nobody like that. This chick turns around and tops it off and says, well, I don't think any of you guys will get flowers anyway. I mean, look at all of you. I mean, it's obvious I'm the only one that's pretty here. And I said to her at that point, are you crazy? She just gave me a look like, whatever. That's when I knew she was serious. That is exactly when I knew she was serious. And after that, I told her, because I don't know about y'all, like, I don't come from the ghosting generation. It's not about, oh, this person disappears and you don't know what happened, or you heard so and so's mad at you and you don't know why, and they don't talk to you and they're not saying what. Nah, I don't come from that generation. I was still at the tail end of the after school rumbles. The meetup, like, I see you in the hallway, Yo, I'll see you at 2:20. That's the time we would get out of school, at 2:20. Yo, I'll see you at 2:20 so we can continue this discussion. Like, we were on that, and it was teetering on the point of becoming dangerous, that kind of behavior and attitude, because all y'all act like, having being strapped was something new. No, that was happening long time ago. Long time ago. So metal detectors came into play at, like, I want to say about 3-4 years after I graduated high school. So yeah, so I wasn't that far removed from all of that. So I say all that to say, recently, I had someone try to circle back to me. Now, mind you, this person just, like, it's not like I disappeared and didn't say anything or we lost touch. No, I explained to her at least 3 times that I remember, off the top of my head, about how I didn't appreciate certain comments that she would make to me, always making nice, nasty, passive aggressive comments that I knew at the end of the day didn't have nothing to do with me. But still, like I said, I don't hang around females or even people like that. Like, I'd really like to know, like, do y'all ride for your real friends at all? Because I don't come from that. Like, if you had people around you, like, you knew who was an associate, who was an acquaintance, and who was a for real friend. And even then, it's like, you didn't sit there and talk crap about each other like that. If there was an issue, you said what you had to say to the person's face. That's why I never will ever wrap my head around this ghosting, because you're gonna know exactly why I am cutting communications and cutting ties. I'm not gonna leave you sitting there wondering, and, oh, what's she doing? And then, you try to reach out on the phone, you don't get nobody. You try to text, you don't get nobody. Well, I'm gonna blow up her email, and you try to do that. Like, no, there's not gonna be any of that. You're gonna know exactly why I don't mess with you no more, and exactly why I cannot expose my energy, my space, or even my other friends around a person like that. There's never going to be any wondering or waiting. No. And I get that sometimes, where you don't speak to someone and it's been so long, and then you're like, well, I wonder how so and so's doing, and you'd want to reach out and hit them up just to see how they're doing. I get that. But when it crosses the line of you're constantly trying to do it and you're not saying nothing but being snotty, like, you're immediately making passive aggressive comments. And I'm like, and I could joke with the best of them, but that's one thing that I'm not doing with anybody, female, male, I don't care. I'm not doing that with anybody. You're not gonna stand there and smile in my face, then look me up and down, talking about who you think you are, or whatever idea, or if I saw somebody, or I'm bigging up another friend that's doing great, I'm not gonna sit there and talk crap about them either to somebody else. Like, I had somebody's spouse, partner, whoever the hell they are, doing that mess. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, you a grown man hating on a woman who's trying to just pay her bills at the end of the day. She ain't taking no job from you. She ain't even in your field, remotely close. She's not doing anything illegal. But that's the first thing you do, is you're bringing up some random woman and you're hating on her. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Ain't nobody over here doing none of that. And some of y'all need to think about that, for real. Some of y'all really need to think about that. Like, if you find yourself, you catch yourself talking that much crap about somebody that you consider a friend, you might need to sit back and reevaluate yourself. that's that's on some real talk. You might need to sit back and think to yourself. So that's why I tell some folks, I'm like, the pandemic was the best time for me. You know, I got to sit back, reevaluate. I got my health in order. I got a lot of things accomplished that I was putting off. And I reevaluated like my space and where I am in life and my mindset and how I want to move forward on what I want to do and how I feel better as a person and how to be a better person every day. Because that's what matters to me. I'm not worried about crapping on somebody else and talking junk about somebody else and pointing and hating on it. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Y'all got to do better than that, for real. For real. That's why I say I bring up this tree stuff for y'all and try to bring up stuff like the CBD things and stuff for sleeping at night, because at the end of the day, a lot of us, that's all we need to do. Tweak how we're eating, be more mindful of that, get daily movement, some kind of exercise, and you need to get some degree of rest and sleep. Not just jump into bed and hope you go to sleep and play on your phone and wonder why you're up till 1 in the morning and you're behind got to be up at 6. Like, no, you need to get in the bed and rest. That's why I don't have a TV in my bedroom. And even then, I sit my phone across the room. So it's easy to get caught up in your phone like that. But yeah, think about that, y'all. Who's really around you? Or what are you saying about the people around you? That speaks volumes about what you speak to yourself too. So hope y'all get some rest. Check out the Pink Noise channel and the Black Noise channel. And also Orange Noise helped me too with insomnia. That might be a big, huge help for y'all. So, all right. Well, thank you again for listening to LunaTalks. Check me out on IG at lunastares. And yeah, I don't know. I'm supposed to be doing an author's website, but we'll see. I'm trying to figure that whole thing out. I'm just really trying to concentrate more on my work. But I appreciate y'all listening. And like and subscribe, please, to my channel. All right. Over and out. Night night.